In Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning, Texas. Good morning to the United States of America. And of course, good morning to the actually to the rest of the world, and good morning to every single corner that our 100,000 watt transmitter is sending these signals to. We are going to have a great program for you today, but before we get busy, of course, it is time for us to talk about the genius deals in the studio. How are my peeps doing this morning?
We have those, Jack.
Well, we're looking for 'em.
Hey, good morning,
Yes, we
everywhere.
do. How you doing, my
No,
brother?
I am going to have to get on my soapbox here for just a moment.
Well, please do, please
Just,
do.
just a moment. I read something that was so stupid and horrendous yesterday that I just couldn't believe it. And we heard it. We had it on this show yesterday too. One of our callers called in, said the Lakewood shooter was transgender, and
Hmm.
then I read this article about how the crazy right-wing Republicans are using anything they can to intimidate and to embarrass or whatever they're doing with the transgender folks. You know, what happened to the Republican Party? When did they become the party of dictators and nutcases? I just want to know, when did this happen? Because I used to be a Republican. I used to think the Republican Party was the way to go. But I don't think that anymore because it's unrecognizable to me. I don't understand what they're doing. So will somebody please call and tell me what the Republican Party is doing and what they've turned into? Because I don't know. I mean, they're unrecognizable to me. The Republican Party is supposed to stand for lower taxes and economic growth. Well, what are they doing going around terrorizing people, the marginalized people? Why are they doing that? That's not going to help economic growth. That's not going to help lower taxes. What in the hell is going on with the Republican Party? I want to know. Please, vast and unpaid research department, if you've got any ideas, let us know because I sure don't. But it just
Folks,
disgusts me to read garbage like this. It really annoys me. As obvious you can tell it does because I'm
well, I
ranting
mean, if
again.
you started the show with that, yeah, you were annoyed, all right. I mean, but it's what we're living through, and the thing about it is, man, not having control of your, having misinformation that was calculated, it's the issue. And they're just a select group of us that want to believe a certain thing. Yeah, I mean, it fulfills something that we need to believe so that we can hang on to something that we know is wrong. So it's sort of a self-delusionary thing. So, I mean, those are the things we have to go up against. So I feel your frustration every day. I work with your frustration every day.
Oh,
But
Lord.
you know what, brother? We keep on keeping on. But
Okay, now I think Jack has a page of wisdom here.
I
Maybe
want
you've
to
got
hear.
some wisdom on this one.
Well, to me, they're building an empire. Simon Bar Sinister is still out there and wants to rule the world. So,
Yeah.
anyway, that was your answer, Howard.
Okay. I'm looking for any answers that make sense to me because I just don't get it.
Well, Simon Bar Sinister makes sense to me.
Oh, well, okay.
All right. The politicians want to privatize Social Security as part of the attack on governmental function. They want a government small enough you could drown it in a bathtub. They want to take profit out of Social Security, which means less benefits for you. Don't let them fool you. Social Security pays for itself. Business just doesn't like to pay their portion of the Social Security tax. That's why they're attacking Social Security.
You nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it. I mean, let me tell you, Jack. I interviewed James B. Lockhart yesterday. James B. Lockhart was the second guy the second in command at the Social Security under George Bush's administration, and he wrote a book, right? So his publicist contacted me and said, "Hey, would you like to talk to this guy?" And I said, "Oh, absolutely, I want to talk to this guy." And they booked him, and I went ahead and I interviewed him a couple days ago. And the way I do interviews. My goal is not to have any gotchas or really hammer you or anything like that. I want to have a conversation, and that's what we had. But I actually, these guys have this fallacy that they put out here that only the government is all wrong. Government does everything wrong, and this private sector somehow never makes mistakes and it's good. And by the end of the conversation, or even during the conversation, he had to concede that, yeah, there are issues with the private sector, and much of what the government does wrong is actually what the private sector wants them to do. But I mean, the way we got there was just having this conversation, and it is so right that we make ourselves, Jack, puppets to. I don't want to talk about the private sector if there's something wrong with the private sector. There's nothing wrong with the private sector. There are things wrong with the people we hit up, corporations that doesn't have our best interests at hand, just the interests of themselves, their shareholder, etc. So it was a great conversation, and I am going to I actually mentioned it in the I mentioned it in our stuff today in the literature that we have for to. Uh oh, uh oh, uh oh, uh oh.
Uh-oh.
I just played.
Something happened here?
No, no, that can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah, we can always
Okay,
hear
yeah.
you.
No, no. What happened is I was playing. I was working at the same time that I'm talking to you. I was working with the piece that we did from Van Weber yesterday. But anyhow, let's go ahead and get Johnny into the fold.
Yeah, the mayor of politics. Ladies and gentlemen, for your pleasure and listening pleasure, it's the mayor of politics, Johnny.
Hey, in a simple word for Captain Reynolds' rap, wondering what happened to his party? It's one word: oligarchy. Even back in the mid and early 19th century, when conservatives referred to themselves as Democrats, they've always been the party of the oligarchs, the big business. They have never vacillated in any way. And what they're tricky about is their language. They talk like they're friendly towards the working man, but at the end of the day, they get the Democrats to go along. Why? Because the Democrats feed from the same oligarchic corporate industrial trough. Money talks and BS walks. And the only way to circumvent all that is if we can convince enough of our people, our party, our tribe to say, hey, Democratic Party, wake the hell up, get out. We're putting in unapologetic, aggressive progressives. And until we do that, guess what? Captain Reynolds' rap will continually be disappointed by his former party.
You
Well, I
know,
feel like crying, Johnny. It's just one of those things where, I used to believe in the Republican Party. I thought they were the way to go, but they are unrecognizable.
Growth. Well, guess what? That's actually the result of Democratic Party policies. The only problem is the centrist Democrats who actually control the Democratic Party, they are functional Republicans. So,
y-
but by the way, you know that exit music on Arnie Arnison's program? You got to think
Oh
what you're
yeah,
doing to
yeah.
me. Think. That would be one of the great messages for the Democratic Party in regards to abortion cancellation. But do you think they're smart enough to do that? Not if Joe Biden is saying, LOL, hi guys, with those laser eyes. That's their idea of messaging for young
Johnny,
people.
I want
Hey,
to. I want to jump in here for a second. First of all, I want to welcome Texas Blue Bonnet for being here. She says Happy Valentine's Day. And of course, in my rush to get all started, I forgot to wish all the beautiful. I think Valentine's Day is a day for males to give homage to women. Is that about right? If that's about right, I want to give my homage of a happy Valentine's to all our beautiful women, not only here in Houston, not only here in the Harris County, not only here in Texas and the country, but in the entire world. Happy Valentine's Day. I want to welcome Texas Blue Bonnet Patrick Baron. who says, "Good morning, Egberto, Chad and Mods. I love your interview with Reverend Barber yesterday, and I'm going to talk about that as well." And Palsy Wolsey is in the house. Good morning, Palsy Wolsey. I also want to say this. I want folks to remember here because I love that Brother Howard said he was a Republican because here's the deal. I don't know if you guys realized back in the 60s, the Republican Party, in as much as it was done via Johnson, a Democrat from Texas, the Republican Party was instrumental in passing civil rights and many other very important programs. Nixon was responsible for the EPA. So as we I really would not I would prefer not being a party guy. I just want to be a guy that really believes in policy that serves us all. But when we talk about our tribe, Johnny, Mayor Johnny, I like to, in order to keep that door open, I like to remind people of who we were. Also, the past Democrats didn't have a storied life at all. So we got transformation, transitions, and all that kind of stuff. And parties are just there to have been manipulated. Just kind of wanted to lay that out. Johnny, finish up so I can jump to Harry.
I would remind us that even Republicans in office have done things that seem reasonable from time to time. That doesn't make the party any more credible. Look at what Ronald Reagan did. Remember, he did something. He started off being very Republican. Remember, attacking unions and all, and taking the
Patco.
solar panels down,
Yeah,
right?
Patco.
He
Patco,
didn't
yes.
pardon somebody. Who did he pardon? Just like Jimmy Carter did. They're capable of doing the right thing when they're forced.
Right, right.
That's not
Now,
good enough.
also let's remember that Reagan came into power because of working, and people don't. I don't know how this didn't become a bigger story by uh, encouraging Iran to keep the hostages till after the American election was completed. I mean, these are some vicious things that many of us don't really know about. But anyway, Johnny, let me go to Harry. Quickly,
Real
anything else?
quickly, though, real quickly, Reagan didn't come into power because of that. He came into power because he talked populist. He asked people about if is it right for a waitress to be paying the same rate as her boss, a corporate guy.
Yeah, I
That's
remember
why.
when he said that too. But anyway, Johnny, thank you, Mayor. We'll talk later. Harry, quickly. Oh, wait. Before I go to Harry, folks, we are still in Fund Drive. We have a lot to talk about, but we need to raise some money, and we need to raise more than we had to raise before because yesterday we did not meet our quota. Okay, so I ask you so kindly to please call 713-526-5738. Extension number 1. I'm going to repeat it slow since some people say I speak too fast. 713-526-5738. Hit extension number 1 and please contribute to the program during this fund drive. You can get our t-shirt for $100, a Politics Done Right t-shirt for $100. Again, you can pay that over time. But again, it's a beautiful T-shirt with the O in politics having the logo for our KPFT station. Beautiful T-shirt. You can also go ahead and say, you know what? We are trying here at KPFT to build sustainers so that we can have less fund drives. So please, you can give anything for the sustainer. You can say, I want to give $5 a month. That is like buying us a coffee a month. You can do $10 a month. That is like buying us 2 coffees a month. You can do $15 a month. That is like buying 3 coffees a month. I know many of you can do that and you wouldn't even feel it. But if a lot of you do it, if a lot of you do something that you won't even feel in your budget, but you do it, us getting a lot of it goes a very long way. We are very frugal with your dollars. I promise you that. I do this just out of the love for the subject, the love for the movement. Jack Van Beber does it for the same. And Brother Howard does it for the same. He gets a small stipend for keeping this whole damn network on air. And this is some technical stuff that sometimes drives him all over the damn county to make sure our 100,000 watt transmitter keeps transmitting. One person. So, folks, I ask you so kindly. And by the way, we have a general manager, Sandy, who is a volunteer general manager, something that commands six figures everywhere else. So, folks, I ask you so kindly to call us at 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Give whatever contribution you can. If you can do a sustainer where you can give us X amount of dollars a month, we would love you dearly for that. $5 a month, $10 a month, stuff you don't feel. But if we get a lot of people listening to us to do that, it makes a hell of a difference in getting our bills paid so we can continue to do this. I promise you, we are very, very frugal with your dollars. And by the way, you want to have some coffee with me? And this is just sort of like thank you. $250 coffee with Egberto. I drive in a part of the county to meet you and have coffee, spend some time with you, whatever we need to talk about, things you want to score me up on, things you want, anything. $250. So you can help us in any way. 713-526-5738, or you can go ahead and go to kpft.org and do all that I've just spoken about as well. Please remember to tell them this is for in the name of politics done right. I don't get it. The station gets it. Harry, I'm going to skip you for Liz because Liz has never called. Okay, so let's talk to Liz and then I'm going to come to you, Harry. Thank you, brother, for your patience. Liz, come on in.
Hi, how y'all doing?
I'm doing fine. Liz, talk to me.
Well, I was calling because I wanted to agree with you about back in the 60s, in the mid 60s, when there was the transition between the parties, where
Right.
they split platform. And a lot of people bring up the names like Nixon and Reagan and Bush, but nobody really talks about Lee Atwater.
Right.
He
Oh
was
God.
behind this whole movement.
Yes. I mean, I'm so glad you brought up Lee Atwater. Lee Atwater, what actually, as we were getting better with racial issues, he found a way to do things like use the N word without using the N word, but having people think about the N word. He wanted people he wanted to first dehumanize a group of people so that in doing so, he could coalesce around the majority population, white people, to win elections, and they were successful with this thing called the Southern strategy. Thank you for bringing that up, Liz.
Yes, exactly. So it's not so much Reagan. Those are just, pretty much heads of state. They're just faces. Look towards the strategists and the people that are working behind the scenes.
I think you nailed it. I mean, we have to understand the forces that are there. And there's this thing called the Powell Memo. I mean, all this stuff, all our racial angst, our gender, all these different angst that we have, Liz, has one purpose, and that is to allow the survival of the oligarchy, right? And so they said it. In fact, I interviewed um, uh, uh, Barber, the Dr. Reverend Barber, yesterday, and he pointed some of that out. He pointed out that they knew that they were destroying the social fabric of America to attain this goal, and they did it anyway. And they said in the process of doing it, they said we have to have plausible deniability in what we're going to do to win. So you nailed it, Liz.
Exactly. As long as they use broad, open, vague language, they're able to concentrate on characteristics of different types of groups of people and be able to exploit them or alienate them in society that way.
Exactly.
And it's incredibly sad. And they've been working for the last 60 years, 50, 60 years, since 1965, basically,
Right.
to do this. So it's just basically we've been dying in our sleep and we just didn't even know it.
Now, let me just say this, Liz. And one of the reasons you see I take the all embracing attitude is that I understand that this is something that was imposed on us, right? And if and not only that, it was done psychologically well. It knew one thing, right? It knew a group of people were starting to feel undermined, not that they should have, but feel that way. And they knew how to the people that had this mindset. They knew how to put the right keywords and ideological tilt so that they could pretty much have their minds. And that's why what I say, I make sure to be, sometimes tough, but completely embracing to let folks know. No, we are all in the same boat. We're all in this together. If we allow ourselves to keep fighting each other, killing each other, hating each other. That very small minority for whom Lee Atwater designed was a partial designer of this system, they win. And I'll be damned if I left Panama to come to this country and let those who really hate this country, really, when they only love the corp, right? If I let them win, and you let them win by not loving your brother and your sister. That's what I think. Anything else, Liz?
No, that's it. You're absolutely right. It's by division. It's
Amen.
truly by division. I think Leslie Johnson had a great quote. I don't know it exactly, but he talked about how if you could get one man to think that he was somehow better than another man, based on his race or some other characteristic, he'll always think that it doesn't take much.
Man,
Um,
I love the way you made it very antiseptic, the way you said it, Liz. It's like you made it.
well,
You are so good. I mean, those aren't the words you use, but everybody get exactly what you're trying to say. What he did. To put it bluntly, it said this, right? It used our carnal fears, and it said, if you can get a white man to know that he's better than a black man, you can pick his pocket no matter what, because you have him believe in that. So therefore, you can take anything from him if he knows you are going after the black man. That is what Johnson said. Our president, John from Texas. But you are so. I mean, I love the way you put that, Liz. You're
he
a
was
wonderful person.
even he was a very interesting character because even though he signed the civil rights, legislation, he came from Texas. Let's face it, he was a Dixiecrat. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
most progressive person in the world.
right.
And in fact, he was an intolerable human
Well,
being. But I think it's interesting how it went from around 1965 to 68, right
hmm
when Martin Luther King died and Bobby Kennedy died. That seems to be right when that was that moment. Um,
right.
when I think that they had the most strength or had an opening to get their ideological tentacles into people's brains. If that makes sense.
Now, can I give you a slight pushback? Because I think, and this has to do with, well, Johnson was from Texas and so forth, right? The South has a lot of problems. There's no doubt about it because slavery was inculcated in the South because of the nature of the industry in the South, which was farming, etc. Right? But let's not, in my opinion at least, I don't want, and this is what I tell people, all over say, why do you live in the South and all of that? I say, I love the South. The Southern people are great people. And what I mean is, I mean, the Northerners are no different than the Southerners who simply had a different means of production. And that's the reason why slavery was popular here. It was all economic. If slavery would have been successful for what they did up in the North, slaves would have been up in the north too. So in effect, I want to say all of us are in the same boat, and nobody gets a pass. Neither the Northerners nor the Southerners gets a pass, in my opinion.
You're right. You're right. Because we're all kind of thinking in the same ship.
Right, exactly. But anyway, thank you, Liz. I want to Harry
Thank you.
been waiting for a while. I want to get Harry, and thank you so kindly for calling, my friend. All right, Harry, come on in.
That's why Politics Done Right is a very edifying educational show. Liz is absolutely right about all that stuff. The mayor of Politics Done Right is also right about all that stuff. Yui Berto is also right about all that stuff too. I was wondering, is Howard an independent now since he left the Republican Party, or is he just a progressive? Well, what are you, Howard?
Independent.
Or
I vote
independent?
for who I think can get the job done.
Right. Yeah, you vote you just vote your conscience is what you're saying. You vote who you think is best suited to run the office of the presidency. And thank you, Howard, before I get into more of this stuff, of playing Acoustic Alchemy. And I've asked you to play Catalina Kiss, the other one, when you can play that before Politics Done Right or on the Great Wide Open. But anyway, let me get to the other stuff. Add to Liz's comment. Lee Atwater. Yeah, he was instrumental in getting the Willie Horton and scaring white people who are conservative. When George Bush was trailing against Michael Dukakis, and George Bush Bush 41 made that miraculous comeback. He was instrumental with that, with the Willie Horton ads that they're going to let people like that out, and they're going to rape. They're going to go out there. Black men are going to go out there and rape white women, and if you let them out of prison, you remember those ads? They were doing all because all they had was racism, and you've always had the Republican Party. It's about oligarchy, it's about plutocracy, and it's about business. And you've always had you had the radical Republicans and you had the segregated Republicans of Abraham Lincoln, and then you had a lot of the Andrew Jackson Democrats who left the Democratic Party, and as Liz mentioned there, Dixiecrats. You had a lot of them go to the Republican Party. Richard Nixon brought them in when he was running for presidency. And I wanted to also add something about Richard Nixon that you said there a little while ago, Roberto. Remember Edwin Muskie? Senator Edwin Muskie was the one who was talking about that environmental stuff, and Richard Nixon took credit for it when after the Watergate stuff, and Edwin Muskie was discredited because the Republican Party had to cheat, because that's who Nixon was afraid of. If he hadn't tried to get any dirt on him with his cronies, Muskie would have beaten him. So it is all those things. And then fast forward to Alexandra Pelosi, when she did the White America Feeling Wrong video, and the birther movement with Donald Trump. You got all these. That's when it became crazier and crazier. You always had crazy ones, and then you had with Ollie North and let's see, with Iran Contra and Bush 41 pardoning Poindexter. You've had these crooks and criminals and wackos in the Republican Party. So that's what happened to the Republican Party. It just got worse and worse, and it's gone further and further to the right. And you just have crazies like Donald Trump today talking a lot of the nonsense and craziness that he talks. And,
all right.
and hopefully,
Harry, you gave the whole litany.
He'll be held accountable for his crimes. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Harry. Can I get a little bit of pitching in? Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Go have a good day, and I'll listen.
Thank you, my brother.
Roberto?
Yes, sir.
Roberto, I have a secret weapon here.
Let me hear your secret weapon.
Donate.
Nobody loves me, everybody hates me. I'm going to the garden to eat worms.
Yeah, that's Nancy McAfee, Mrs. V, and Jill.
Oh!
Because nobody donated to their show one time, so they sang the Worm song. They sang it again on Sunday on Mrs. V's show and got 3 pledges.
Well, you know what? You go ahead. I'm sorry.
Don't ever play that again.
Well,
I need my secret weapon.
I love that secret weapon, folks. You see, that means to donate, and already somebody just did. But the person didn't leave. Yeah, they didn't leave their name, but they did give us a nice contribution right here. So you know who you are. If you'd like me to say your name, please go ahead and call 713-526-5738 and tell Jack Van Beber, and Jack will go ahead and let me know who to thank on here. But I want to thank you so kindly for that contribution. Now we are only remember, we didn't make our quota yesterday, so I still need to raise $500 more today. And I know I can do it. Remember, let me tell you the options that you got, folks. You can say, I want to give Politics Done, or rather KPFT via Politics Done Right, $5 a month. That's like a coffee a month, man. And think about it. You won't feel that, but we will. You won't feel that you're just giving a coffee a month to KPFT, but we having a lot of you do that, we will feel that. $10 a month, two coffees a month. A lot of you can do that. A lot of you blow $10 a month doing it, whatever. $10 to do it. Can you blow $10 a month like the brother or sister who just contributed did? $10 a month? Go ahead and say, you know what? I'll do $10 a month. That's two coffees a month. I won't even feel that. Or three coffees a month, $15 a month. And some of you, you're going to get a windfall. Some of you are going to get this huge tax return that you didn't think you're going to get. And when you did your tax return, you realize, I'm getting that. You know what? I'm going to give KPFT 250 and go have some coffee with Egberto. Because he can be a cool guy every now and then. You know what I mean? And I'm an easy guy to get along with. We'll sit down and shoot the bull and talk and slap the back and whatever you want to do with chill. And, anybody who will tell you, we sit down and we just chat about politics or anything else. $250 to, say, you know what? I know that's going to make a difference at KPFT, right? So, I mean, that's all that we're doing here, folks. Trying to continue what we're able to do here. And, we work hard to bring you not only good opinions, not only good news. When I say good news, I don't mean good news. I mean news that is good. And also eclectic music like what Brother Howard plays on Fridays and taking your calls and playing what you want to play, that sort of stuff. This is a place where you are genuinely a part of. You have people always saying things like that. This is your show and this. But for any of you who spend any amount of time on coming in at 6 in the morning to listen to my show, I should say our show, everybody knows that you're an integral part of the show. And where can you get that? And how can we keep that? And we keep that by your contributions, whatever you can. And it doesn't have to hurt, right? $5 a month, $10 a month, one-time contribution, whatever you want. We take it all because that is how we can continue to do what we do. And to put it bluntly, that is how we are able to grow and continue doing this because we really honestly cannot do this without you. So I ask you so kindly to call 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to give, extension number 2 to talk to me. I would love for you to say, I'm going to start with extension 1 and contribute, and then I'm going to go to extension 2 and have a chat with Politics Done Right. 713-526-5738. I am behind the 8 ball, so please go ahead and contribute as soon as you can by going to 713-526-5738. Hit extension number 1, and when you go ahead and tell them this is in contribution to KPFT for Politics Done Right, or via Politics Done Right. Or you can go to kpft.org, kpft.org. All right, I see a call is coming in, so I'm going to wait before I start the new subject. So while Jack takes that call, I'm going to jump to Brother Howard to see if he has anything that he wants to say to help us do a little pitch here, and then we'll continue.
I just wanted to add in this. You were talking about coffee with Egberto.
Mhm.
Now I want to talk about the coffee package we have for a $120 donation for KPFT's Caroline coffee beans plus a Caroline Street mug. This is a good looking mug. It really is. It's got our palm tree. It's got the building on it. It's really cool. And also the coffee is good stuff. Any new sustainer donating $20 per month or more will receive the Caroline Coffee Street combo over and above anything else. So get those donations in. $120 for this thing. Lola Savannah coffee, good stuff. It's the KPFT blend. It's got a little logo on the bag, which is kind of cool. It'll be a collector's item in years to come. So don't let it collect dust. Go ahead and get yours today. $120 donation for KPFT's Caroline Street coffee beans, plus the Caroline Street mug, and drink happy.
Be happy, folks. We have all these different offers, and you can also go to our website kpft.org and see all of this. You can also see what the bricks look like. If anybody who can spare $25 a month, they get a brick where they put their insignia on the brick, whatever they want on the brick, their name, whatever else they want on the brick, and it's immortalized at our on our sidewalks, and eventually I imagine we'll put it on walls, all that good stuff. I'm just postulating here. You can get that's a 4x4 brick for $25 a month. For the $50 a month, we have the 8x8 brick, which gives you some more real estate in which you can write on. So folks, give us a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1. I'll repeat, 713-526-5738. También nos puede llamar al 713-526-5738. Una vez más, es 713-526-5738. ¿Quieres ir a tomar un poco de café con Egberto? Nada más tienen que llamarnos a donar $250. Lo puedes pagar sobre tiempo y puedes tener una amistad ahí, tomando un poco de café cuando estamos hablando. 713-526-5738. Did you want to say something?
Oh, I was going to tell you that Sandy's on the line here.
Okay.
We just connected the tin cans and string. So, Sandy, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Wow, it's a wonderful thing. I had to go to alternative device B here this morning. Device A was not cooperating.
Sandy, how you doing, my brother? Sandy's our general manager, folks.
Yes, good morning, Egberto. How are you?
All right.
All right. I see we already have some activity on the pledge line, don't we?
Yeah, but we need to get quite a bit more to make up for yesterday, my brother.
Well, we do. We have a long way to go. We have a $150,000 goal on this drive, but yesterday we crossed the 1/3 mark, which was really very cool. Today marks the 7th day of the drive, Valentine's Day. 713-526-5738, option 1 for kpft.org. And to tempt you, we came across an additional premium last night. On Border Radio, magically some tickets appeared for Bonnie Raitt. So if you're interested in making a pledge for this winter thankathon and want some cool concert tickets, now keep in mind this concert stretches all the way to November 6th when it will occur. Bonnie Raitt's going to be on tour this fall all across the country, and she's covering the South in November, which includes Houston, a stop at the Hobby Center, and I've got 3 pair of tickets on the table. It's a $175 pledge to your community radio station. How do you get that? You call 713-526-5738, option 1, and then inquire about those Bonnie Raitt tickets. The tickets should be paid with a credit card on the spot, and you will claim them. The Hobby Center, reserve gallery seats for Bonnie Raitt. If you don't want to do that, there's always our coffee combo. You'll get a pound of those Caroline brewed blended beans by Lola Savannah and a Caroline coffee mug. And with that, you will be able to drink like a DJ. That's right. Drink like the rest of us down here at KPFT by snagging the beans and the coffee and keeping KPFT commercial free right in the heart of Houston, Egberto.
I love that. So go ahead and call in. Hey, folks, we only have one pledge thus far this morning. I know we can do better than that. And I know you are thinking right now, maybe I should give. If you haven't ever given to KPFT, but you have always listened to KPFT, you've always listened to Politics Done Right or any program, please consider make this your first time. 713-526-5738. We really, really need you to help us out here because again, we are a volunteer based network, uh, and we do our job. We work at this to make sure that we give you something that you want. In fact, that's why you're here. So why don't I make my day. Why don't 10 people call 713-526-5738, hit extension 1 and say, you know what, guys, I'm gonna give $5 a month. I won't even feel that. Surprise me. Show me that, folks can do that. $5 a month. That's taking $5 a month out of your little your card won't you won't see that, right? I mean, it would actually look like interest rates. The interest rates are eventually going to go down. Think about it, and that's probably going to drop your bill by $5. Consider giving it to us for doing something good. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. All right, let me get to tag. Tag, I only can give a little bit because I want to talk a little bit about Barber, if you don't mind. So come on in, my brother.
Yeah, I just think it's important for people to understand that Pacifica is radio network is radio for peace, and it was started by some people on the West Coast who were conscientious objectors during World War II. So when you support KPFT, you're actually supporting the idea of having a peaceful world, which I think we would all rather have. So that's the main thing. And the other thing is being a sustainer is pretty easy. So whether it's $5 or $40 like I do a month, you really don't notice it, and really helps the station to figure out their budget with a sustainer. So I encourage everybody to support peace in this world. I think KPFD is a good representation for that. So that's what I had to say.
Tag, thank you so kindly for using your time to do a pitch for our station. You are a wonderful person. I appreciate you, sir.
Okay, have a good day. Bye.
You too now. And folks, I need to thank Doc Pete, who is doing he did $15 a month, and what he said is he wanted to split the $15 a month among 3 shows. So we got $5 a month. Another 2 show each got $5 a month. Doc Pete, thank you so kindly. You are a blessing. So folks, surprise me, please, go ahead and call 713-526-5738, and let's see how many people we can get to call in and do at least $5 a month. And really, you would be keeping us alive. You would be making sure we can continue doing this, and you won't even feel it. So if a lot of you do it, you will be doing a good thing to make sure that we are funded. At the same time, you don't feel it at all. Come in, Brother Reynolds.
Oh, I was going to say that yesterday I became a sustainer myself. Not only do I donate a lot of time to KPFT, they do pay me. I'm the paid employee, but it's a 24-hour day, 7-day a week job. So I became a sustainer because I want a brick.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to put on the brick, I can't tell you on the air, but it's clean. It's clean. There's nothing wrong with it, but I can't tell you what it is. It's going to be fun.
Well, so, I'm going to make sure to read the brick, but I'm also a sustainer. So I mean, I made sure. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I keep talking over you. The reason I became a sustainer is because I believe in what we're doing here. I believe in this radio station. I believe this station can. I've seen it crawl out of the pit that it was in and become a viable radio station. And it's largely due to the work of Sandy Weinman. Sandy was a driving force behind this thing and still is. And sometimes he drives me crazy and everybody else too. But
he drives everybody crazy
because he believes in what we're doing here. He knows, he's got experience with what we're doing here. And I can tell him because he's every now and then he says, "Oh, I don't know if we're going to make our goal." I said, "We're going to make our goal. We're going to do it. The folks who support this radio station will step up, and that's what they're doing. They're stepping up now. They're becoming sustainers. They're buying bricks. They're getting coffee. They're getting concert tickets. It's a good deal, and they're getting good radio because you go up and down the dial. Okay, everything it's all pre-programmed from New York or Chicago or somewhere else. The voice trackers, the people sitting that you're listening to while you're sitting in the chair at work, they're not even in their town. They're voice tracked from somewhere else. We don't do that. This is live radio. When you hear the thing, we have dead air sometimes, or we say the wrong things. It's because it's live, because it's real. And Real Radio needs your support. 713-526-5738 extension 1. Give what you can. Become a sustainer. Get a brick. Get some coffee. Get some concert tickets. Get a t-shirt. Sandy has practically worn holes in his hoodie, but he believes in this radio station. I believe in this radio station, and so do you. So show us some belief. 713-526-5738 extension 1. And Egberto, we're going to hand it back to you.
Thank you, my brother. Look, folks, I was a sustainer at KPFT. No, I was a donor at KPFT before I came on board. And I remember one person heard my show at Coffee Party and said, "You should put a proposal in for at KPFT." And like I said, I was already a donor to KPFT. And then I did it, and they said, "Okay, but you have to pay your dues." So I came in and worked as an engineer, volunteer for a couple of shows. And when a slot opened, I did get a show. I was offered the show, and and you guys have been good. I must say this: you all have been good to Politics Done Right from its inception. And I want to ask you all to please continue supporting the program. So if you call 713-526-5738, extension number 1. And I would love to, it would make my day if I get off of air and see a whole bunch of people saying, "I'm just going to give you guys a coffee a month because I'm not going to feel it." But you have to take the time and say, "You know what? I am going to get up and I'm going to hit the dial and pick my phone up and make that call, or go to the website and click on it." Always remember, put Politics and Right as a program you support. And so that Sandy, that guy that we say give us a hard time, don't throw the show off the air because it's not holding its own. We have to hold our own. All right. Before I jump back to Sandy, I just want to tell you a little bit about 2 interviews I did this week, and I can't play them because they're fairly long. And but after the fund drive, I'm going to play them. One of them is a staunch conservative that I interviewed. I had a very nice interview and a very pleasant interview. His name is James V. Lockhart III. He was Bush's Social Security Secretary, the COO of the Social Security, meaning he ran the damn thing. Okay. And we went through a whole lot of issues with this interview. It was fairly long. It was about a 30-something minute interview. And you learn a lot from that interview, as the way a whole lot of folks think about this issue. And I kind of softly, but had a lot of pushback to a lot of what he was saying, and I think in a lot of ways he agreed with what we had to say. So the next one that I want to talk about is Dr. Reverend William Barber, which I had a 40-something minute interview with him. I love speaking to Barber, and you're going to love that interview. That was an interview that says we have some action to take before the election, and we are going to help that. I'm going to try to get this package for the entire Pacifica to play on different stations as well, because we have some work to do. And this was a wonderful interview. If anybody who wants to listen to it before it goes on air, you can go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, because I have it all ready to go and the links are all there. Yeah. Oh, wow. I took my eyes off and you guys started to. Oh, I love you all. Thank you so kindly, guys. I want to thank Beth. Beth is an existing person that decided to up with a kind contribution here at Politics Done Right. I don't know if I should use her last name or not, so I'll just say Beth right now. And I want to also thank Margaret. Thank you so kindly. Margaret is new. Margaret is new. Thank you so kindly, Margaret, for being a new contributor. If we could get 5 more like Margaret and Beth, please consider calling now. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Remember, $5 a month doesn't mean anything to you. It means the world to us because we can get a whole lot of people giving $5 a month. It adds up. The waves, the internet and the airwaves go far. So if a lot of us do a little, we can change the world. I repeat, if a lot of us do a little, we can change the world. Again, you remember when Liz called earlier and she talked about what Atwater was able to do. You know what neutralizes what Atwater did, and many are following in his track to do? We are the neutralizers because we're out here not trying to split people apart, but trying to bring people together and realize that we're in the same boat. Harry, I got to finish pitching, but come on in with a short notice, my brother. Second call of the day for you, my brother. Talk to me real quick.
Yeah, this is real quick. When I got off the phone with you the first time, I talked with my brother Alan about Lee Atwater, and he mentioned one other name. The Republican Party also became the party of racist Karl Rove, and what Tom Hartman has talked about many times on his show, the John Burke Society, and it's also the White Citizens Council. That's the Republican Party.
Thank you, my brother. Let me thank you. I want to thank you, Harry. I appreciate that, but I want to say something
I'm looking
because
forward to the William Barber interview as well when you play that.
thank you, my brother. Appreciate that. When we talk about Republicans, right? I have a lot of Republican friends. I have Republican family as well. All right. Most of my family are progressive. Let me just let it be known. But I do have many of my family as well that are Republicans and independents and everything. And I love them all to death. I love my Republican friends as well. There are two pieces to being a Republican or two pieces to being a Democrat. One is it's a fabric of who you are, the label that you decide that you want to be associated with, but not because you're associated with that label means that you go out and do harm or whatever. Every party at some time has done someone harm, right? I don't want to create false equivalencies. I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that for the person who's going to attack me for false equivalencies. That's not what I'm doing. I'm talking about if we are going to get together, we all have to have a place to land. Let's land that politics done right in unity. Anyway, folks, give us a call, 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738, extension 1. 713-526-5738, extensión número 1. Please follow Beth, Margaret, Dr. If I can forget, if Biden can forget, I can forget too. All right, let's see. And Dr. Pete. How did I forget Dr. Pete? All right, 713-526-5738. We need a lot more contributions to make up for being behind the last several days. So I ask you so kindly, you're not going to miss $5 a month. You're not going to miss $10 a month. But we are going to see that, and it's going to be like manna from heaven for us, right? Your small contributions allow us to do big things. I promise you. Hey, is Sandy still in there? Sandy's a better pitcher than I am.
I don't know. Hey,
you don't know.
You call, yeah, you just made a call to the bullpen. All right, I'll come in and do some pitching here. First, I want to thank Beth B. from Houston, as you just did. And I mentioned those Bonnie Raitt tickets for November, and I said there were 3 pair. Well, now there are 2 pair. If you want them, they're going to be gone today. I guarantee you, you guys here are listening early in the morning. You got a head start on everybody. If the premium drives your decision to donate to community radio, and that premium happens to be those Bonnie Raitt tickets, so be it. But folks, if you're listening, you don't really need a premium. You got it already in KPFT. You got it already in Egberto every morning. You have it in Amy Goodman. You talk. The music shows throughout the day. The music shows all throughout the weekend. KPFT is one of a kind. There's nothing else like it in Houston. In fact, there's nothing else like it in the entire Gulf Coast. We're part of the Pacifica family, one of 5 total stations. One of 5. What is the probability of having one here in Houston? Chicago doesn't have a Pacifica station. We do. You can go all across this country. You'll find one in New York, one in Washington, one in Berkeley, and one in LA, one here. How unique. Beth, congratulations on snagging those tickets. 2 pair left for Bonnie Raitt, 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. And I guess Doc Pete got that coffee, the Carolina combo. So thank you for that. We really appreciate that pledge as well, Doc. We're waiting on you. We're about one $5 a month pledge short of our goal this morning. Very doable. And as Egberto told me when we first got on, we got to make up some time from yesterday too. So please, 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. You got one community radio station in Houston, and that's KPFT. We're volunteers, as Egberto said. Go ahead,
Absolutely. Absolutely so, folks. And look, I feel I hate fund drives, right? And I hate it because I feel we lose a lot of people, and I want you to keep coming, because that's why I try to infuse fund drive with topics. But I want to tell you, I will always have a full show, fund drive or no fund drive. You can always go, you can get the newsletter and go to the videos and everything that we would have played here. I want you guys to know that we are committed to making sure you are fulfilled with the news of the day. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. I want to thank Jack Van Beber. I have a TikTok that I made with the word, with some words, Jack Van Beber, that goes hot today. You guys are going to have to listen to it. I'm going to put it in a newsletter for tomorrow. Also, I want to thank Howard Reynolds for the great work he always does. Our general manager, Sandy, keeping this ship together. Give us a hard time, and sometimes we want to kind of slap him around, but you can't argue with something that got rebuilt. You can't argue about that. So, Sandy, we don't do it a lot, but kudos to you, brother. I want folks to give us a call, 713-526-5738, extension number 1. My name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics Done Right, and you know how I end this, baby. I am what? Out!
You're listening to the American Democracy Minute, keeping your government by and for the people. We're updating recent stories today, including Donald Trump's request for a stay from the U.S.